It really has been too long that I've been sitting on this project right here. Our tender, our foam core tender, has been sat for, wow, probably 4 or 5 months since I started shaping it, and I've just spent another day just for the torture board, just rounding off all the corners, flattening out some rough spots, and just fine-tuning the shape a little bit prior to lamination. So I'm going to laminate this up. I'm just going to do it with some 600 double bias and some CSM, and the idea is that the first layer ties to the foam, and then the 600 double bias will go on top, and then I'm going to peel ply it and then work on the insides, and then ultimately I may have to do another layer on the outside. I don't want this too heavy. I could easily end up with a 100-kilo boat here, so I have to be very, very careful. I'm trying to keep this at around about 35 to 40 kilos without the motor. Our current tender, Mini Synergy, is about 140 kilos with the motor on it, so that's just fine. We're finding that way too heavy to be able to pull up the beach. I don't have any beach wheels on it, but still, when we go into the beach and it's starting to get a little bit tired, this thing, it was secondhand when we bought it, and there's some bits falling off it. And the other day I was asking my mate Vince Mackay, who actually does work on these, he actually designs and builds tenders for the SAS and the military down here, and also surf lifesaving. I said, what's the best thing I can do to clean up this tender? And he said, I'd get some acetone and a cigarette lighter. Smart ass. But you know, he's right, because this tender has, although it's done really well for us and sufficed for the last 12 months or so, the mould is into the hypalon, and it's become a bit of a problem, and there's bits of the rub rail starting to wear off it, and quite frankly I'm going to let it down once I finish this foam core tender and put it in our shed and keep it as a backup. And I think it might end up being buying a new one if someone steals our other tender, or we end up with a problem with our other tender. But yeah, long story short, I'm going to start working on the new tender today. But yeah, this is ready now to get its first couple of layers on it, and then I'll be able to turn it over and start working on the capping. The inside will have to be laminated as well, and that's going to have to be done on its side. But I do want the shape formed and solid. I have allowed for a 3-degree release angle on this boat all the way around, so that should I ever intend to in the near future make a mold of it, then I can. And that may be something, you know, I don't really see a market for it for me. Quite frankly, I want to go cruising. I don't want to be building boats for the rest of my days. But you know, while I've got the factory and while I've got the means, I should probably consider maybe making a mould. I might just decide to go sailing. I think you're all sick of watching me work, to be honest. I've been working bloody hard for 40 years, and I'm ready for a little break. I'm really ready for a break. But yeah, so let's get this one laminated up. It's going to be a fair day of work here just to get this hull done. I'm going to put some stringers along the hard chines of 600 double bias just to make sure that they're laminated in as well, and that'll certainly help with the consolidation and for the rigidity that we're going to be needing for this tender.
Gosh,
It's messy, it's going everywhere.
and it's strong, so I'm not staying for long.
So remembering I've got this over the top of a jig which is holding its form, and the sides are not, so I have to be careful I don't push it out of shape. But I've got this 3 degrees of release on the side here if we ever want to take a mould off it. I'm not really sure if we ever will. But
So how many layers?
it'll have 2 layers initially with some stringers on each of the chines. So I've got some 600 double bias stringers to run along the strengthening ribs just to beef it up.
Still going. He reckons it's like laying up a double sea kayak
And more.
and more. Not as nooks and cranny though.
No, it's pretty straight laminate. It's like doing a hull.
No, I can't.
Alright, so along the edges and along the chines, and here, I'm putting a 600 double bias reinforcement stringer, just so we can handle a knock, and also to give the boat a little bit more rigidity, and to assist with potential planing. We'd hoped that it was going to plane, wouldn't we, Jan?
Yeah.
Because our tender at the moment does not plane. Mind you, we've only got a 5-6 horsepower on it, so there will be bits added to it, particularly along the delta, along the planing surface here. I want to make that nice and strong as well. Okay, so we're on to the sides. This now has 3 layers of reinforcement on here at 600 double bias because I've overlapped it twice. So I've got this comes up over the top, this one's going to go over the top, plus there's another rail along here. So plenty of reinforcement along here. My God, 6 hours though I've been going straight, and I'm feeling it. Get too old for this. 8 hours later. 8 hours. I think I'm into the 8th hour, aren't I? Yeah, wouldn't be far from it.
But you have got peel play on.
Yeah. Janet's been cutting the peel ply. We've got a big 1.8 metre long roll of peel ply, and it's making life a bit easier because there's less peel ply to cut in the shorter ones. But this one here, that's nice and rigid now. I'll be able to remove this from its jig tomorrow, or probably a couple of days. I'll leave it for a few days, I think, a couple of days maybe. I may take it off tomorrow and start to work on the top sides. And I've got it all nicely consolidated, and the peel ply should save me hours of sanding, which is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good. Almost there.
Oh, no.
I don't let the...
So he's breaking all the rules. He's got his wet scissors on the dry cloth.
These are my dry scissors, they're my wet scissors.
No,
I haven't got them, you've got them over there.
yeah, I know. So you're using your wet scissors on the dry cloth. You just can't keep up.
I've got to say, I think that's the biggest session I've had since I built the Cat. Since I did the deck of the Cat, that took me nearly 8 hours to laminate that bastard, and yeah, it's all done. So I'll leave it for a couple of days, let that cure up before I take it off the jig. I just want to make sure that it stays the same shape as it is now. It's already gone hard, but I do want to make it cure before I go playing with it. But yeah, she's looking pretty good. There's going to be a bit of fairing and sanding to be done, but hopefully that's the external part done. I can flip it over and start working on the internals, but more importantly, I've got to do the cap on the top. I have to make a complete plug for that before I put that on, and that'll be made out of foam as well. So there's a lot to do, but at least it'll give me a little bit of more focus now that I've actually got the laminating done. I have not been able to do anything else other than look at it until now and just keep continually shaping it, and I'm happy with the shape. I think it's actually got a nice shape, and you know, time will tell what it's like on the water. We are currently heading over to Long Beach on the other side of Jervis Bay, and my good mate Ronnie Lilbourne and Leslie, his partner, are waiting over there at Long Beach for us. And Ron has been offering to run a short theory and sailing course for us. About 9 years ago I met Ron doing a captain's or catamaran sailing ticket in Sydney Harbour, and we've been good mates ever since. I did hard top extensions for him, and we've seen him a few times. I've done a few races with him on Sydney Harbour. He used to race on Thursday afternoons, and you know, he just wants to brush up on our theory and discuss some navigation and stuff before Janet and I head off cruising, and we're so appreciative of that. We are planning to head off in about 2 months' time. Is going to be the end date for us to stay here and take off, and it's just a really good opportunity for us while he's coming through and on his way down to Tassie. So we're going to anchor up next to them over at Long Beach. He's on Better Than Shares, his Seawind 1160. We're going to have a theory session on board there, and then we're going to come back to our boat and go sailing. And then we might do a bit of maintenance on his, because I think he needs a little bit of work on his boat. But so Janet's at the helm, looking good, honey. Loving it. Nice morning. We've got a wind already. We already have a nor'easter at about 10 knots, and it's supposed to get up to about 20 knots today. So it might be a good day for sailing. Might be a bit too strong. We've got to see how it all goes. But we can get into the lee of the wind up on the northern end of the bay right up here, and see how we go. Righto, we've just anchored up at Long Beach. Perfect over here today. Ronnie's over on the deck. Looks like he's doing some work over there for the first time ever. It's like he's cleaning his deck. It's good to see him. He's cleaned it up for us. That's really good to see. Righto, we've just arrived on Better Than Shares. It's been a few years since I've been on Better Than Shares, and once we did these hard tops, we used to sail with these guys up in Sydney, and Ron's all set up. He's going to give us a theory session. I'm a bit worried because my comprehension has not been great lately, and I've sort of been in holiday mode, but we're going to see how this goes. We're all set up. Look at this. This reminds me of 9 years ago I sat with Ron and did a course. 9 years ago I've known you. Yep, 9 years ago with Craig Foster and his wife, Lara.
Oh, okay.
Fozzie, remember?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Nothing's working.
Okay.
It's very blowy in here, Ron.
Perfect.
Nice.
Turn the air conditioning down.
It's nice and cool.
Okay.
10 knots of wind speed, boat speed will be 5 knots. So, of course, we're talking knots on everything.
Yeah.
So when we have wind coming from here at 10 knots and the boat is going forward at 5 knots, we're going to have apparent wind of how much? We have apparent
15
wind
knots.
of 15.
Yeah, right.
It stands to reason then, if directly into the wind or directly behind, which is very black and white, all these angles will be a percentage of the 10 knots. It won't be the complete 10 knots. So up here it might be 12 knots, down here it might be 6 knots. Okay. The place where 10 knots becomes 10 knots, you're still doing 5 knots of speed. The wind is still 10 knots. The place where it becomes 10 knots is here.
Is on the beam.
On the beam.
Yep.
Okay. And that's why a beam reach is so comfortable.
Yep.
It's not dealing with apparent wind and all that sort of thing. On the boat have increased. We want the forces on the boat to decrease. So we turn here, we go down. We were doing 9 knots. 9.
46.
Dead behind us, we're in 46.
Yeah, of course.
Which one do I prefer to be in? 46 or 55?
I was just getting my apparent wind.
And then you ease your main out. Okay, so what you want to do is, there's the mast. You bring your head sail in, and quite often what I do is I'll reef half the head sail in. Depends on the head sail.
Yeah.
And so I'll bring that in quite tight, so that I keep my way up. Then I let the boom out to here. Okay, now what that does, so we want to put a reef in.
Yep.
What that does, slows the boat down for starters. This sail is trying to do its thing. Wind coming from there, comes around here, and it pushes pressure onto the back of your sail.
Ah, yeah.
So you have wind coming down this way, plus a bit of pressure coming this way, and your sail isn't going da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I know people that turn dead into the wind to put their reefs in.
Yep.
Because that's what they've been told.
Well, that's what I did the other day.
And there's the wind, and your sail's going, making all sorts of noise. Here it's just this sort of lolloping sail, and then you bring the sail down slowly, bring all your lines in, tension them up, tension your halyard back up, ease this off, get back onto your line, which is could be down that way, and off you go. Way along.
So the control comes from the jib.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so your boat speed is maintained. You don't need your engines on.
No.
We did this quite...
No, man. Looking good, Leslie. Yep. We've had a little bit of a sail. We had a bit of a steering issue. Ron was dicking with my autopilot, and I started panicking, and we resolved it, but the autopilot was on, but Ron kept steering it to lock, and then it'd release, and what it was the autopilot playing around with him. And yeah, that was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Scary.
I think Leslie got a bit worried because we're heading into the beach. You're a classic.
I trust in you. Ross.
Oh no, I know how to diagnose. That's the one thing about building a boat, is you're able to diagnose 90% of the problems on the fly, and it was going to get to the point where we're going to hit the beach if I hadn't have diagnosed it. Anyway, it's all good now. We're all under control again, thank God. Seems to be a lot of motoring going on here. I think Ron just likes my engines.
That's what it was. And they had to get the salvage people.
I'm very jealous.
He's got Yanmar envy.
Yeah, I do. We've got 30 horsepower. So you've got what?
Oh, 57s.
57s.
We have got 4 alternators, so we are restricted down to about 49, 50, but still, it's pretty good. They're pretty powerful, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
I would have liked that the other day when we were nose on to 33 knots.
Oh, yuck.
doing 3 knots.
Oh, you poor bugger.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what happens. Oh, no, we're going to go for a sail again.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a sail. We didn't film it because there was a lot going on. And somebody was reasonably gentle on me today. How was today, mate?
Very good. Very good.
What's the
Yeah.
prognosis? Be honest, come on. The steering sucks.
Mate.
No, didn't.
No. Might be a steering issue, might be a sail issue.
Yeah.
Number of variables, we've got to look into it.
Yep. Well, like any boat, it all has its ups and downs, and we've identified a couple of potential problems, and we did have a bit of a problem with steering right when Ronnie was fanging around at 9 knots, and my hydraulic steering sort of was fighting the autopilot because Ron was fighting the autopilot. And sent us into a bit of a spin when we're heading straight for the beach or Ron's yacht, in fact. But we solved it, didn't we?
We did.
We did.
Well, Janet and Ross solved it. I just watched.
Classic. And what do you think? What do you think of the ride, Leslie? Come on.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. It's
Pretty
really
smooth, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic smooth ride on the boat.
And we had speed.
We had speed. 2 reefs in.
Yep.
Only 22 knots behind us.
Yep.
Doing 8-9 knots.
Cool.
Fantastic speed.
Good. Oh,
Yeah,
that's good. Mate, you can come
Smooth
back.
as.
You can come back.
Yeah, I say that because he will let me back.
Well, there is a bit of a weather helm issue that we've identified, and we believe my rudder's maybe a bit too small or my sails are too big, but we've got to work on that. But yeah, it was a really fantastic day. Thank you, guys. Thanks for
okay.
thanks for helping us out, and thanks for the theory. That was
Thanks for
brilliant.
lunch too.
Yeah, that was this morning.
No worries.
Righto, we'll get them back to their boat, and Janet and I have to go back to work. So Janet's got cushions to make up in the sweatshop.
And we've got a week of rain to look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be
Plenty
some
of cleaning on the boat.
pretty shitty weather coming
Yeah.
for us. Big 5 metre easterly
So
swell.
it's called living the dream.
I call it fixing boat in exotic places. That's what I call it. Righto, let's go. I'll take him home. Well, that's it. We'll say goodbye to Ron and Leslie, and we'll no doubt catch them over the next week or so. We're going to get back to work. Janet and I are still working. We're working on a lot of projects as well for the boat and for home, and just making sure that we get everything done before we take off in a few months' time. And that was well worth it, wasn't it, Jan?
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Really good. The wind stuff was so useful for me.
Yeah, definitely.
With just with a different perspective. So it was good. Rather than sails and wind, and had a few really good pointers.
Yeah, and to actually see it on a whiteboard and
Yeah,
rather than trying to deal with it in the wind. Like we had some wind to starboard, didn't we? Had 22 knots.
And he said he'd like to do it again with lighter winds and then build, so he can show us those bits and pieces that he showed us.
So we discussed a lot of strategies, what to do in high winds, and whether to just put the sails down and just run with it, or to hove to, or there's a lot of things you can consider, and those are the sorts of things that we really, being instructors ourselves, really makes a lot of sense to us, is making good decisions well before the time when you needed to make them, and that is what sailing's all about. And we had a really, really nice time with them as well, had a good lunch, and just that theory for 3 hours this morning just solidified a lot of things in my mind, and we're heading home now so we can get back to work in the morning. So yeah, nice cruising along at about 8 knots, got a bit of wind behind us, but we're certainly moving nice. And the one thing they did say and did comment on was how nice the ride was on this boat. Because of the extra buoyancy in this boat, there's virtually no pitching, which is something I was worried about. Was a lot of pitching of the hull because of the bulbs and the extra extensions that I did, but it is definitely riding a lot smoother than it would have done without.